Greetings, star beings, it's Luna. Welcome aboard the Dreamstar Saturnus ship, where we explore ancient mysteries and mystical truths as we soar through the ethers to divinate some messages today. And I'm coming at you with a pick a card tarot reading, and the concept today is, what changes do I need to make in my life to be more in alignment with who I truly am? And I feel like with stepping into this new year and closing out this 7-year cycle from the 2012 solstice to the 2019 solstice recently on December 21st, and coming into this new year, 2020, we're really all, I feel, stepping into this new paradigm, and really kind of getting to the root of who we are, so we could really live our core purpose in alignment with our values. And so I'm really feeling a lot of this fresh new energy with lots of changes, and I felt like it would be a good time to get some guidance about what changes to make to help you set the blueprint for your 2020 vision. So we have three piles here. The first pile number 1, we have this black jet stone. Pile number 2 is carnelian, orange carnelian. And pile 3, we have this moonstone. White moonstone. So go ahead and pause the video if you'd like to meditate on which pile calls to you. I do suggest going with, your intuition rather than your eyes. So go ahead and close your eyes. Take a few deep belly breaths. And feel what pile you're called to. Sometimes the most accurate pile is the one that is your first kind of inkling of which one you're really pulled towards, or you can imagine yourself pulling over the first card in each deck, and whichever one feels the easiest to uncover may be the pile for you. If a few piles resonate, I suggest watching both of those messages. And do keep in mind this is a general reading, so not all the messages may resonate, so take what resonates and leave the rest. And we'll go ahead and get started with pile number 1 here with the jet. And when I was meditating on your pile, I got a few messages. I got pyramid, stairs, and the color purple. So I feel like this pile is really tapped into their own divinity and well on the spiritual path. I feel like you're on this path of ascension and tapped into the higher powers within you and that surround you. And as far as the stairs, I feel like it's this energy where maybe your spiritual practices are something that are helping you to gain this broader perspective. And so let's go ahead and see what messages come through for you. Pile number 1. We have the 6 of Wands. Ten of Swords. Three of Wands, Ten of Cups, Eight of Wands. And this is the Rider-Waite deck, by the way, and the Page of Wands. Let's see here. So I feel like you're experiencing some element of success and recognition here. And things may be moving at a fast pace. You are surrounding yourself with it's almost like you've worked really hard to get where you're at now, and now this success and recognition and victory is surrounding you, and you're just kind of relishing in that. And we have two cards of completion here, the Ten of Swords and the Ten of Cups. So I feel like these are happy times of emotional fulfillment. It could be some sort of announcement of marriage or pregnancy or engagement. And I feel like all these blessings that are surrounding you, whether it's in your work or family life, are kind of putting an end to a negative thinking pattern. And you're seeing how the manifestations that you've been working really hard putting out there into the universe, you're starting to see gems of the really fruits of your labor. And this Page of Wands here could be an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. There's lots of wands. Your spread is, there's wands in these four corners here. So certainly you could be a fire sign, sun, moon, or rising, or you could be dealing with a fire sign. But it looks like it seems as though there's this passionate energy that is being fueled in your emotional body, and it seems like you're taking care to taking care of your vibration and how you feel, and this is helping you to get rid of those old narratives that are limiting and based in fear. And I see a lot of passion and creativity, and I feel like you're really focused and setting your sights on where you're going. And it seems as though you are very much, your cup's overfloweth. It looks like you're in a really good space here. And let's see if we can pull a few clarifiers. So why is the Six of Wands here? Is victory and success. Why is the Six of Wands here? We have the Ace of Air and the Tower. So it's like after this period where you kind of stepped into some new energy after maybe a difficult transition, after this difficult transition or some sort of upheaval in your life, this clarity came in that made you realize what you need to do to find success. And it's like you're leaving this energy that you know is no longer for you through a new idea or realization or something that just clicked in your mind that led you toward going about something in a new way where you're now reaping the rewards of that. And let's see why the Eight of Wands is here. Eight of Wands. We have the Fire Princess. So this is the Page of Wands. Again, second Page of Wands here. So yeah, this is you really taking off with a new idea, a creative endeavor, and really just running with it and seeing where it'll take you, and realizing that the more you put your energy into your passion, it's like you see that the universe has been conspiring to help you grow these ideas and inspirations that really set your soul on fire toward emotional fulfillment. And why is the Ten of Swords here? This, it's like this pattern in your mind, this story that is ending. Why is the Ten of Swords here? Spirit, I call upon the divine. Show me why the Ten of Swords is here. We have the Water Princess, the Page of Cups. So it's this new emotional, could have been some sort of new love, especially with the Ten of Cups under here. Could be some sort of new romantic interest, or it could be a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, who maybe came in to help you see the ways in which you were limiting yourself in your own mind or perception. Or you could have tuned in, used your emotions as a gateway to understand your thinking pattern and how it was limiting you. And once you saw it for what it is, it's like you're healing your emotional body and really allowing your emotions to guide you in a way that serves your greater good. And it's like this swords energy. It's like you're done. I see you getting out of your head, really honoring the emotions that are coming up, and seeing how when we pay attention to our emotions, they can give us an indication of where we're at in our vibration. If you look at the emotional scale, there's these feelings that are associated with the vibration, and I feel like you're learning how to kind of recalibrate and get to the root of the lower emotions which are keeping you stuck, and use those emotions to guide you toward this greater truth. And thus you can find more beauty surrounding you as you allow your emotions to really run freely, instead of feeling stuck. Because this dude, it's like coming out of this cycle where you're really not feeling well, anxieties, depression, all those swords are cutting into him in his back, and he's like stuck, but this is the 10, so it's completing this. And it could, it's like you're coming out of this stuck energy into this free energy where she's letting her emotions really just run freely. And let's see why the 10 of Cups is here. Why is the 10 of Cups? What is the 10 of Cups doing here? It's the 10 of Air. Same card. We have 2 10 of Swords here. So you are definitely... And it's interesting because we go from the 10 of Swords with the Page of Water here to the 10 of Swords with the 10 of Cups. So this is like finding this emotional maturity. That's what you're stepping into. And yeah, you're really stepping into this emotional maturity where you're learning to honor whatever comes up. And the more you do that, the more you find that naturally you start to do away with whatever isn't serving your highest good. And then you can find your natural set point, because our natural set point is at a high vibration, and it's simply our limiting narratives, stories, beliefs that keep us feeling like, bogged down, and thus when we're in that state where we're feeling bogged down in these negative emotions, we don't have much energy to really fuel our passions, because we keep ourselves limited in these boxes where we feel like maybe our dreams can't come true. But you're finding that, the more you allow this emotional process, the more you'll become emotionally intelligent and sort of find what what your emotions are telling you about the direction to go in your life. And let's find out why the Three of Wands is here. This is about like setting your vision and seeing your manifestations start to come into fruition. We have the Seven of Waters, so this is very similar energy to this Three of Wands. Seven of Water, Three of Wands, and Seven of Water is this energy where you're dreaming up. You have like lots of options to choose from, and it could deal with illusions and delusions and fantasies and just kind of dreaming up like where to go next, especially with those Three of Wands. It's like, you know, you're closing out this cycle, you're listening to your emotions. I see abundance and success and really a lot of creative inspiration coming through, and you're kind of in this stage of contemplation of where do I really want to invest my energy, as I gain a clearer insight into who I really am by getting rid of these old narratives and really feeling what these old perspectives have, how these old perspectives have influenced my life, and where I can go once I drop those and really step into my power. And let's find out why the Page of Wands is here. Spirit, why is the Page of Wands here for pile number 1? Please show me clearly why this Page of Wands is here. Page of Wands. And that is clarified by strength. So, you know, this is about being mindful of it's almost this state of surrender. This state of surrender and treating yourself with gentle compassion to discover where to fuel your energy. And it's really sitting with yourself, and it's that quote where it's like allowing your mud to settle so that you can see clearly. And oftentimes when we're in this Ten of Swords energy, it's like we have so much going on in our head and so many conflicting beliefs and perspectives that it's really kind of hard to just settle into what we want, where we want to go, and what is the best move. You know, sometimes we'll sit down in meditation and our mind will just be going a million miles an hour, and it's really kind of hard to get a clear grasp on just settling down and tuning into what the best move is. And here it's like finding that strength to really find the calm within the storm, and to use our emotions to get to know the aspects of ourselves that need to be seen, heard, and understood. And this is very much telling me that it's like the more you sit with yourself and accept all parts of yourself, especially the parts that feel the most, the parts that feel the hardest to love. I feel like the more you accept and integrate those parts, the more you'll get a clear understanding of what you want to create and what direction you want to go. So I'm going to pull a few, I'm going to pull 3 cards for what to not forget. What does pile number 1 need to remember in this time of change and transition? What are 3 things for pile number 1 to remember during this time to help them on their path of being their truest version? Pile number 1, what does pile number 1 need to know? Call upon the divine. 2 more cards for pile number 1. What does pile number 1 need to remember during this time of change and transition? Alright, so 3 cards wanted to come out. Let's see. So we have the 4 of Swords. That's all about quiet meditation and retreat and healing and spending time with yourself and really allowing your mind to settle and tuning into your own heart and spirit. And that goes really well with the messages I got when meditating on your pile, pyramid, stairs, and purple. So it's like tuning into your higher self and becoming open to this higher perspective. Yeah, becoming open to a higher perspective to help give you clarity about what direction to take. And it's through your emotions, I feel, that will give you the most clarity, because a lot of these wands are clarified by water. And this Page of Wands is like, embarking on this new pursuit. And it was clarified by Strength, which could also be a Leo. So a Leo could have to do with where you're going or finding inspiration for what move to make next. So we have the 4 of Arrows here. We have another 4, the 4 of Water, 4 of Cups, 4 of Arrows and 4 of Cups. And the 4 of Cups is about, it's also a card kind of at a standstill a little bit. It usually depicts this guy underneath a tree, and he's kind of closing himself off and looking at these cups that he sees. And he doesn't even look the other way to see this cup that's being manifested here by the divine, and he just sees what he sees, and he's not really open to other possibilities. And so I feel like the more you meditate and tune into, the more you meditate and settle your mind, the more you'll open yourself up to what possibilities there are out there. And then we have the 6 of Bowls, 6 of Cups, and the 3 of Pipes, which is the 3 of Wands. So that's another 3 of Wands here, which we pulled earlier. 3 of Wands. So that's setting your vision, starting to see some fruits of your labor come in. It's, it's really kind of setting the sights. I mean, you have already set the sights, and you're starting to gain some evidence about where that's taking you. And the 6 of Cups has to do with It could be someone coming in from the past. It could be, kind of thinking a lot about the past, or let's see. So I think this is saying to not fall back into old ways and to tune into your emotions. Gain some clarity within your mind by going into meditation or grounding or doing some sort of practice that helps you to observe your thoughts rather than getting absorbed by your thoughts. Because understand that the more you can be the awareness behind your thoughts, the more like you can allow the mind to settle, because you have this distance between your thoughts and you realize you aren't your thoughts and thus they won't consume you. So and I feel like that's going to help give you some clarity about how to really see the abundance around you and prevent you from going back to those old ways of thinking. Especially if you can just surf the waves of your mind. You can gain you can just get a lot better at seeing those limiting perspectives for what they are when they come up and just let them fall away. And the more you do that, you're going to start to see more of your manifestations trickle in. So let's pull a few. What is the name of this deck? It's called Angels and Ancestors Oracle Cards. A really beautiful deck. So I'll pull a few of these to finish off your reading. Pile number 1. Let's see. What messages does pile number 1 need to hear at this time to help them on their journey through this period of change and transition? Please show me clearly what messages does pile number 1 need to hear. Also, I see here when really setting the blueprint of your manifestations, try not to get lost in any delusions or fantasies. Try to really be practical about really taking action towards it, and don't get lost too much in your head or your emotions. So we have, it says, Lord, take charge with authority. Try to get one more card here for pile number 1 to assist them on their journey here. Pile number 1, what messages does pile number 1 need to hear this time? Let's see. We have Mother Earth. It says, feel loved and comforted. And it's interesting that we have the Lord and the Mother here. So I feel like it's important for you to really nurture yourself and maybe spend time in nature, ground yourself, tune into that abundance within, and use your emotional guidance system by accepting all that arises, and when taking action, take action out of love rather than fear, because that is the stable foundation which is really going to help build the empire, or build, something stable that will be long-lasting and beneficial for you and those around you, through this feeling of total love and acceptance within yourself. And the more you choose to act out of love, the more you'll be tuned into this abundance within and without. And I'm seeing the Ankh here, when I was meditating on your pile, I saw the pyramids, so this could have also to do with maybe delving into some ancient Egyptian philosophies, or you could have a connection with Egypt, and it could be beneficial to draw upon that energy when creating your manifestations. And I also see the ram here, and that could deal with an Aries, or it could be, just this sort of drive that you will have, or that will be necessary to find this love and comfort that you seek. And it's really, it's having a strong sense of your value, that you can add to the world. And then here at the bottom of the deck we have Star Ancestor, follow the voice of your soul. And we have pyramids here again, along with some purple. So definitely take time to meditate, and the more you can tune into your soul, which is rooted in love, the more you'll be able to take action in a good way to really flourish and allow your manifestations to come full circle back to you. Alright, and that is your spread, pile number 1. I wish you blessings in this time of change and transition, and I do hope this was helpful. If you found it helpful, I would appreciate if you could give me a like, and if you can also subscribe to see more pick a card tarot readings, and I wish you all the best on your journey, and I will see you next time. Okay, on to pile number 2 here. So pile 2, we have the carnelian stone, the orange carnelian. And let's see what we have for you. We have 7 of Swords, the High Priestess. This is the Rider-Waite deck, by the way. We have the World, the Star, Judgment, and 5 of Cups. Let's see, lots lots of major arcana here. I see lots of healing and you know, stepping into some new energy. So it seems like at this time you're kind of wanting some time to just be with yourself, and prioritizing time alone and really kind of delving deep within yourself to discover to shed light. I see you. It could have been something that propelled you to realize some higher truth. And when I was meditating on your pile, I saw a white dove, which can have to do with a higher perspective and seeing things from a bird's eye view. And that goes really beautifully with this Judgment card here. This is like, it's the divine, like, calling in and shedding light, and it's healing and awakening, and it's this process of rebirth and seeing the possibilities, you know, breaking out of this limiting perspective where we're just dwelling and we're dwelling on what isn't working, and you know, this is also this kind of isolating energy where you're separated and feeling like things aren't working out, and you know, nothing is good enough, and just seeing the cup that's empty. You're seeing the cups that are empty. And this Judgment card is here being like, that's not the truth of who you are. That is not the truth of who you are. Slight altercation with the camera as it died, but we are back. So we were talking about the truth of who you are. Stepping out of this narrow perspective that has you separated and dwelling, and this Judgment is coming in. That is a call to awaken and merge with the multidimensional being that you are. Because this Five of Cups is really in this energy of separation and ego and the little small me in this material world. And you know, it's interesting because this world does look so solid, and we do feel so like we are this one little human, like, making it in this world on our own. But really, Judgment is showing us this unity. It's showing us this unity mindset. You see all those people, they're gathered together, and this angel is harboring this message of hope and truth. And it's, I think that what change you need to make is to step away from feeling fragmented and alone in this world, and like you have to, you know, do everything yourself, and why are things so hard, and why isn't anything working out for me, and realizing and stepping into unity consciousness, you know, with shifting the paradigms into this new 2020 energy. We're kind of coming into this unity consciousness, realizing that we're connected to everyone, and we're not just this small, fragmented little human. We are actually a part of everything and everyone. And this realm that we see in this physical world is a small little facet of the true multidimensional beings that we are. And this judgment is here. I feel like this is the judgment of this new century, or this new decade rather. It's kind of like we're not staying in this small little energy. We're not playing small anymore. We're really waking up in this pile number 2. I feel like you're waking up to a broader sense of who you are. And that really comes through this connection within yourself to your higher self, as well as connection to those around you. And, I see him playing this trumpet here, so that could have something to do with music or using your voice maybe to bring yourself into greater alignment. And these people are, they're coming out of these boxes, and there's water around them, which symbolizes the subconscious. So these subconscious truths could be coming to light about, these subconscious truths could be, I feel like the change you need to make is to get in touch with what subconscious beliefs are not rooted in the truth of who you are. And when you can see those for what they are, you can let them fall away, and you'll find this sense of freedom and rebirth and awakening within yourself. And I see these people, they're singing this song of this song of joy and truth is really awakening them to their deeper essence. And especially with the star right here by the Judgment card, the star is all about hope, renewal, rebirth, merging the unconscious with the conscious. It could be an Aquarius. And the star, she has one foot in the subconscious or unconscious, and she's pouring her water into that realm, and then her other foot is on the land in the material world, and she's pouring another bucket into the material world. So I feel like it's important to pay attention to your dreams and tune into that place of healing within yourself, and know that when you're feeling this 5 of Cups energy, feeling alone and fragmented and kind of at a loss, and maybe, definitely some frustration, we can always choose to tune in to our multidimensional aspects. And like I was saying before, this realm is one small facet of what is truly out there. And you can simply close your eyes and find a space within yourself that will harbor more love and healing and stillness and this sense of solace. And there's many guided meditations you can do as well to tap into this energy. Or you can simply close your eyes and picture yourself in a place that feels safe and really healing for you. I know when I do this, I imagine myself in this beautiful, mossy, green forest surrounded by trees and birds and rays of sunshine, and I just let myself sit and rest there and rejuvenate. And I feel like this energy is really going to help you to find this greater judgment about what vices or mindsets or things that are just keeping you dwelling on those aspects that don't feel as good. This judgment and tuning into this healing is going to awaken a part of yourself that will know that you are more than that, and that you have all the answers within yourself, because above the Judgment card is the High Priestess. And she, she's holding this book of ancient mysteries here, and, behind her is this veil, which is the water behind her, which is what the star is actually, is dealing with here. They're both dealing with the subconscious, the unconscious, and the star manipulates the subconscious and the unconscious and utilizes it for the greater healing of herself and others. And it's through your own healing and really taking this time to sit with yourself, uncover the mysteries within in order to learn some sort of lesson. And, the High Priestess also, you see those black and white pillars there? And so it's about bringing into alignment the masculine and feminine, the positive and negative, and seeing them as one. And it's through this integration that you're able to gain this deeper wisdom and insight. And the High Priestess doesn't really share the ancient mysteries. She discovers them for herself, and she uses them for the greater evolution of her spirit. So it's a very internal process. It's a very solitary energy. And through this period of solitude and healing is when you'll be able to unite, I feel, different aspects of yourself to feel more whole and integrated. Because this Five of Cups energy is feeling fragmented and alone. And this Seven of Swords energy, he's like sneaking off on his own. It could be about, secrecy and someone who's lying and just kind of sneaky, maybe some sort of like betrayal. And I just noticed I forgot to light these beautiful white candles for some illumination. That's much better. So, So it almost feels like maybe part of your process has been to distract yourself or avoid going within because you're kind of scared of what is there, since you've been feeling this energy where you're going through this, you're feeling very alone and there's a lot of pain, and something could have ended that you really had your heart, you really invested your heart in something, and you're feeling like you've lost out on something, and you kind of don't know what to do, and you're just very much in this process of pain. with the Seven of Swords, it looks like it's been hard for you to sit with yourself and be present, and this judgment is coming in to say that is necessary, and that tuning into your higher truth is what will bring this lesson to completion, is the gateway out of this separation energy. And it could also be that it is very necessary to go off on your own, but be mindful that you're not doing it in a way that is tuning or numbing out and distracting yourself from your higher truth. Make sure that this time of solitude isn't just simply dwelling on the past, and make sure that you are spending this time alone and realizing that solitude is very different from loneliness. That the High Priestess makes use of solitude. She uses it in a constructive way to understand more of her shadow aspects, to bring them to the light and to merge them. Yeah, make sure you're not try and make peace with being alone. Because I do see, these are lots of energies where you're on by yourself. And these cards here point to some energy where maybe that doesn't feel so good to be on your own right now. But know that there's a time for everything, and that solitude is truly necessary to further along on your journey and to enter into this cycle of divine completion. This is the last card of the major arcana, and it has to do with learning a lesson, and also it's like the world is at your fingertips at this point. You know, after a period that's where we went through some difficulty, after this period of difficulty, we usually enter this star energy where it's this time of healing, and there's no other way but up, and we find this strength within ourselves to keep on keeping on, and it's through this contrast and this pain that we actually get more in touch with our subconscious, because oftentimes what's in the subconscious are parts of ourselves that we've denied, rejected, or disowned. And it's part of the collective unconscious as well. It's the parts of ourselves we don't want to look at. But I feel like in this transition into 2020, even if you look in the media and see what's going on in the news, you know, you're seeing all this corrupt energy being brought to light, and it's through our own process of seeing and integrating our own shadows that we bring our own darkness to light, and realize that there is a higher octave to every shadow, and that we can actually, once we actually accept and see parts of our shadow instead of turning a blind eye to it, that's when we come back into our power. And so the parts of ourselves that we don't want to look at and we just stuff down, the universe will bring us triggers that are a match to that frequency because we haven't integrated it. And that's really what brings the pain. So the more that we can, maybe keep a dream journal is an excellent way to get in touch with your own unconscious, And you can, a good way to remember your dreams is to affirm every night before you go to sleep, I remember my dreams, I have vivid dreams, I have spiritual experiences in my dreams, I meet my guides in my dreams, I get divine messages in my dreams, or things like that. And right when you wake up, I suggest sleeping with a pen and notebook by your pillow, and just write down any thoughts, feelings, storylines you get from your dreams. If you do that for long enough, you'll start to see, or it could even just take one time, you'll start to see patterns about, maybe limiting beliefs or certain patterns maybe that are holding you back. And, you can start to bridge the conscious with the unconscious in that way, and start to really get to know more of who you are, and help yourself to heal, and bring your shadow aspects into illumination, so that you could really forge forward into a part of yourself that's more integrated and aligned with your highest self. All these cards, this is like tuning in, discovering, and merging. And this is that judgment about, what needs to change. And then this is that healing. So, yes, I definitely see, the wheels are turning here, especially with the world here. And let's find out. I'm going to pull some clarifiers. So why is the Seven of Swords here? The Seven of Swords is clarified by the Nine of Swords. So this is more of that energy, it's like being stuck in your head, and it's like your thoughts are really piercing through your heart here. And you're kind of just isolating yourself because of that, because you're dwelling here. That sword is piercing right through him. And those are all those thoughts that spin around in your head, and just, it's not good. But so it's like either you're trying to avoid feeling that in some way, or this dude is also stepping away from that, especially with the world here. So I feel like the change you need to make is to sit with those thoughts and learn from them. With the High Priestess, instead of running away from those thoughts, because what you resist persists. So sit with them and learn from them. Okay? And let's find out why. Why is this star here, this card of healing and, greater insight into the rawness and the trueness of who we are? Because the star here is unclothed, and she bears it all, and she's vulnerable. And it's through that vulnerability that we're able to look at the parts of ourselves that we don't want to look at. And that's clarified by the Hierophant, which is the High Priest. This is about tradition and higher knowledge, and it could be a Taurus as well. This is about learning mystical truths, maybe delving into mysticism or the occult or some sort of spiritual study. And here with the star, it looks like maybe through some sort of spiritual practice, you can come to this place of higher healing. And It could help to surround yourself with people who have maybe been in a similar situation or who can help you gain some clarity about where to go next. And I do see him holding a tarot card here, so even maybe practicing with the tarot on your own or getting a personal tarot reading for yourself maybe can help you find this greater healing. And you know, the High Priest really, he kind of utilizes his spiritual text, spiritual knowledge, reading books, and he uses that to really shine light, to open his third eye and connect with his higher nature. And let's find out why the High Priestess is here. And that came quick. We have the Chariot. So this is all about movement and travel. And again, we see this, you know, with the High Priestess, it was the two black and white pillars. And here we have the black and white horses. The black and white horses. And he... the charioteer here, it could be a Cancer, but he, you know, he's holding these reins, and it's basically, you know, the white horse, the black horse, our positive aspects, our negative aspects, our male and female, our light and dark, our good and bad, and it's kind of like realizing that it's kind of, using our will to bring those into alignment. And realizing that the more we see ourselves in this black and white, it kind of digs ourselves into a rut, because then we start labeling ourselves as good or bad, or feelings as good or bad, and then we don't accept it all. And it's really through this acceptance of all, which is what the star does. She accepts it all and bears it all, to tap into this deeper essence. And the Chariot, you know, he like has these reins, and he's kind of a master manifester through his own will. So he by the force of his own will, he brings these parts of himself into alignment to forge forward somewhere, to go toward. I feel like you're going deeper within yourself with this Chariot, the more you can merge those aspects. And you're going towards this cycle of completion with the world. It's learning a lesson about a deeper aspect of yourself. A deeper aspect of yourself, which is only really going to come, I feel, from your own spirit, and possibly with the Hierophant, the High Priest, possibly with, by utilizing spiritual tools, for sure. And let's find out why Judgment is here. Why is Judgment here for pile number 2? What is this Judgment card about? And we have the High Priestess again, as well as the Nine of Pentacles. And these are more cards that point to solitude. You know, we have the High Priestess for the second time here. So that's really telling you that, you know, this insight is going to be an internal process. And the Nine of Pentacles is very much about, you know, doing things on your own and tending to your own garden. And it's about having everything you need and not relying on anybody else, and knowing that you can meet all your needs, and also just being fulfilled and having the key to your own success, and knowing that you solely have the key to your own healing, and to empower yourself to discover what that is by going within and really tapping into your intuition. Especially pay attention to your dreams, and you'll gain a lot of clarity that way, I feel. And the High Priestess, she very much just knows. I mean, part of our intuition is just having that inner knowing, and it's through letting go of the things that block that out that we can strengthen our intuition and our sense of inner knowing. And oftentimes it can be a gut feeling, or it's subtle, but this whisper of your intuition is always there. And the more you tend to it, the more you tend to your own inner process and desires, and act from this place of inner knowing, the stronger it will be. And I feel as though to gain a greater sense of your intuition and your inner knowing, it's important to find that balance of opposing opposites within yourself. Okay, on to the world. Let's find out why the world is here. This process of completion. This process of completion. Why is the world here? We have Seven of Pentacles and Prince of Pentacles. Prince of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles. So the Seven of Pentacles is about taking a step back, doing some soul searching. It's again kind of this solo internal process where, you know, you look at the pentacles that you've created, and you take a step back and reassess and come to a conclusion about, am I going in the right path? Is this serving me? What do I need to change or alter to be more in alignment with who I am? And the Prince of Pentacles, he's the Knight of Pentacles, and it's this slow-moving earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, and it's like you're trying to determine and discover the methods that are going to bring you full circle in learning whatever lessons you need to learn to forge ahead into a new cycle. And it's interesting because right by here we have the Chariot, which is a bit of more fast-moving energy. So I feel like that may speed up some of this process of this heavy earth energy. And I feel like the more soul-searching you do, the faster you'll be able to see what you want to see reflected back at you in the external, in your reality, and learn whatever lesson you need to learn to manifest your dreams. And let's find out why this Five of Cups is here, this energy of separation and loneliness, heartache. Why is the Five of Cups here, please? Call upon my guides, call upon the divine. Please show me clearly, what is this Five of Cups doing here? And the Five of Cups is clarified by the Emperor. Could be an Aries. Could be a father figure, a boss, someone in authority. So you could be hurting because you need to heal an aspect of your masculine component. It could also be you coming to terms with how you take action and make decisions in your life. It seems like maybe you're a little bit scared to take action or really put in the work toward what it takes to get what you want. And let me pull one more card. One more card to clarify this Emperor, please. Why is the Emperor here? Why is the Emperor here? Please show me clearly. This father figure, possible fire sign that's having you feeling in pain. Or maybe it's like you're in so much pain that you're kind of at a standstill here with taking any action. And to honor that process of how long it takes you to heal and go within before you actually forge forward, because this Knight of Pentacles energy, it's a slow moving energy. He's kind of meticulous and plans things out and kind of observes if this plan of action is the best route to go. So let's see. The Emperor clarified by the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles is about working together, like-minded people, groups, collaboration. So maybe it could be that you're feeling sad about maybe some leadership role in some sort of group or collaboration or collective. Maybe it's like you're not able to step up to that at that time because of how you're feeling, or maybe you're feeling this way because someone in authority with who you work with, or I feel like things just haven't gone your way in terms of maybe your career and direction in life. And you need to do some soul searching and tap into your intuition and find this place of awakening and judgment in what needs to change in maybe your attitude, mindset, or perception in order to experience a reality that's more in alignment with healing and learning some sort of lesson that will take you to some sort of higher truth. Especially because the dove that I saw when meditating on this pile is about that higher truth and about being in touch with your divine aspect that has all the answers. So let's pull some Angels and Ancestors Oracle cards. Angels and Ancestors. Let's find out. Actually, I just want to pull 3 cards for what not to forget. For pile number 2. What 3 things? Just pile number 2. Need to remember to help them in this time of change and transition. So 3 things to not forget. We have the 10 of Cups, the Queen of Cups, and the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune, Queen of Cups, 10 of Cups. And so it seems like the more you do your inner healing, the more you do the shadow work and, really commit to your spiritual process, the world and the Wheel of Fortune, that's destiny and the wheel's turning and going on to a new phase in your life where you've learned the old lessons and you're coming into this new phase and cycle where you'll find this spiritual unity and emotional abundance, emotional peace and balance and harmony. That's what I see. And especially because at the bottom of the deck we have the Sun, which is about happiness and joy and illumination and, fun and a time of just all the good things. So let's see what your guides want you to know about through this Angels, Ancestors, Oracle deck. Let's see. Last messages for pile number 2, please. So there's Shaolin Master, be graceful in movement and action, and Drum, dream and journey. So definitely pay attention to your dreams, and also to decipher your dreams. That's also going to require some of your intuition and knowing that only you, with your own experiences and personal perspective and what is coming up in your subconscious, you're the best one that's able to decipher that, and what certain symbols or happenings that occur in your dream, what they're pointing towards. And be graceful in movement and action. So it's almost finding this sense of stillness and being mindful to keep a watchful eye, like amidst the thoughts and feelings that come up. It's kind of like being in that observer mode where you can invite in this grace and like really harnessing your own inner drives that may be destructive or that may not serve you very well, and harnessing them in this place of grace where you see them from a broader perspective, like with the dove, and be the witness to it all and see the lesson in whatever arises. Especially about looking out for the lessons. And it's saying be graceful in action as well, so realizing that it's good to give yourself this time to commit to your process and find this inner healing before you make any drastic changes in working together with people or in forging ahead with where you're going. Because you don't want to come from this place of fear and lack, because that will simply build and call in more of the same. It's like you're learning this lesson of a new cycle of coming from this place of emotional abundance and fulfillment. That's really what you're learning here with the 10 of Cups and the Queen of Cups. And also, I forgot to mention in some of the other spreads that when I say she or he in terms of queen or king, it could be pointing towards anyone, male, female, non-binary, whatever. And, these are just the energies that I'm reading, and we all have male and female aspects within us, and it could be a male, female, or non-binary in terms of gender. So, yes. So, yeah, invite in more grace, invite in more intuition, listen to your dreams, and you'll be well on your way to success. Okay? So I hope this reading was resonating. If you found it helpful, I would love if you could like this video, subscribe if you would like to see more tarot videos, and until next time, I will see you. I wish you nothing but blessings on your journey. Alrighty, so we are moving on to the last pile, pile number 3. Let's see, pile number 3. What is up with you? What advice does the Divine have for you in terms of the changes to make at this time, in this time of transition, with this moonstone? So we have the Chariot, the Tower, the 8 of Swords, the 2 of Swords, we have the Moon, and an extra card wanted to pop out for this pile, so Queen of Pentacles and Knight of Pentacles. So let's see here. So the Moon is coming up here, which is about things that are hidden, our unconscious drives and desires, our animalistic nature. It could have had to do with the recent eclipses that we've been seeing, because I see the tower above here, which is all about change and transition and the falling of a foundation that wasn't stable. So these eclipses may have brought a bit of change and transition in your life in maybe an unexpected way. It could also be a Pisces here, or Cancer, or Earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Let's see. So it's like the way isn't too clear for you right now, because we have these swords energies where you're bonded, and it's like you're kind of at a standstill and you feel tied up and like you don't know which direction to go. And in both of these cards, the woman is blindfolded. She's blindfolded with her arms bound, either like involuntarily is what it feels like. It's like she feels bonded and like she doesn't have any choice, and like she's a victim and she doesn't know what to change. And then here with the Two of Swords, she's like crossing her heart. She doesn't have all the answers. She needs to make a decision. She's kind of weighing things as well. And with the Moon here, it's like now is not the right time to make a decision, maybe, because like there could be secrets and things that are not illuminated at this time. And then we have the Chariot, which could be a Cancer. He is the master of his will, and he tethers in the polarities within himself to have this forward moving momentum to drive him toward wherever he's going. It could indicate travel. It could indicate some sort of how can I put this? Something could have happened with your car recently, or it could, something, I would check up on your car, because with the Chariot and travel, and with the Tower, which is destruction, that could be some sort of, like, issue with vehicles and traveling. Could be, delays in travel, and yeah, so just be mindful of how you're driving. And let's see, I feel like though this Tower energy may be what the universe is kind of handing down to you to shake you out of this Eight of Swords energy where you feel bound up. And also the Moon has to do with our unconscious drives and desires, and like what's below the surface, the subconscious. And what the Tower is that's like the subconscious screaming out and manifesting in like a big way sometimes. It doesn't have to always be a sudden drastic change or like destruction or anything like that. I mean, it certainly can be. It can be more subtle though, and less like heavy hitting. But with the Moon here, it's kind of like something in your subconscious needs to come out and be recognized and possibly reevaluated. And, these Two Swords energies are not wanting to look at that, or it's like feeling like they don't have access to that part of yourself. But with the Chariot, that's like this dude who he slays his inner beasts and brings brings all aspects of himself into alignment, to forge forward. And it's this time of blessings forward. Like, he really helps to guide you to manifest your dreams and desires. And it's really sort of an internal process as well, where we gain this power over our own will in a focused way, where we know where we're headed and we make it happen by the sheer force of our will. So it looks like, the Two of Swords is a more passive energy. She's not making a decision, she's standing still, she's sitting there still, crossing her heart, blindfolded. But the Chariot is looking ahead and manipulating the universe at his will. So I think through this Tower moment where something shifts or crumbles possibly, and oftentimes this crumbling is actually a blessing in disguise, because it was something that was probably preventing you from really living your purpose. And sometimes the universe will come in, sweep it away, and it can be uncomfortable while it's happening. But on the other side, we have the Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles here. So I feel like on the other side of this, it's like you're moving towards something, and you're moving towards this abundance. You're moving towards this creative, lavish, sense of security and peace and well-being. And I think it's about taking off the ties that you feel you're bound by, and taking off the blindfold and looking into your subconscious to make some sort of change. So let's clarify these. Let's see. Why is the Chariot here? And we have the Chariot clarified by the Ace of Cups. So this is about new inspiration, creativity, love. You feel like you're overflowing with just like this expansion in your heart. And I feel like sometimes it's helpful to have that like emotional, it's helpful to be overflowing with positive emotions when asserting our will, because that's when we feel like things are possible. And to really forge forward and make moves and set your desires into action, this momentum of positive feeling about wherever it is you're going often helps to steer us in that direction and gain us more momentum toward what it is that we want. And let's find out why this Two of Swords is here. Why is this Two of Swords here? And we have the Seven of Wands and Three of Cups. So this is Seven of Wands. This is about standing your ground, sticking up for yourself. This Three of Cups is about celebration and, you know, sharing this emotional happiness, and often indicates a third party as well. So you could be making a choice about someone in a group, or you could be almost resisting this Three of Cups energy. So maybe you're resisting some sort of third party situation, or maybe it's like coming to terms with it almost looks like you're blocking out this carefree energy. Or you're needing to make a decision about standing your ground and not being with someone who's unfaithful. And kind of feels like you're not letting in this energy though. This like fun, flirty, feminine, playful energy, and you're just feeling kind of like stiff and and bound, like, but this creative emotional energy is like trying to come in, and it looks like this Chariot energy could be a Cancer, could be a new love with a Cancer, but it looks like this Chariot energy is like offering you this cup, or this could be you just running wild with like all the good feelings, and maybe that's the way out of this Swords energy where you're feeling mentally trapped. The Chariot is kind of, you know, maybe by the power of using your positive emotions and creating some sort of momentum with them is how you'll be able to assert your will to go in the direction of like freedom toward this stable, committed, grounded energy that it looks like you are wanting to unite with. Okay, let's find out why the Tower is here. Why is the Tower here for pile number 3, please? Please show me clearly, why is the Tower here for pile number 3? This destruction, this collapse of something that wasn't meant for you. Or this coming out of the subconscious, this, you know, could be this eruption of something that needed to be faced, that maybe it wasn't working out for a while, but you didn't want to admit it to yourself, but things are coming out in the open, or things are shifting from outside and beyond your control. And that's clarified by the Page of Pentacles, which is like something new. It could be a job, it could be a relationship. It looks like something in intangible form has crumbled. Yeah. You know, something is coming to pass, and just realizing that life is full of this life and birth process, and the more we try to cling to and hold on and the more that we cling to our own comfort when it isn't in our highest good, that's really not going to help us or those around us. Especially when it's an energy that really isn't serving you and it's keeping you feeling trapped and stuck. And so I feel like something in your life is coming to pass, but it's going to bring you some greater harmony with the Four of Wands there. So let's find out why the moon is here. Why it's the moon here, and we have the world and death with the moon. Both cards of transition and completion. So we have death and the world. And here on the death card, I see a butterfly. I see a butterfly, which is all about metamorphosis and transformation, and let's see. So I think something that needed to be addressed in your subconscious has been. Maybe you can spot what in your subconscious was wanting to be seen and heard in some sort of destruction or crumbling of some situation in your life. See what that reflects back to you about yourself, even if it's hard to admit. And this is going to bring you to this new cycle as you learn the lesson in that, because it simply wants to be seen and understood, so that it's almost like a piece of yourself that you can see and understand through whatever situation arises in your life. And you'll find freedom in that. When you can see the lesson and allow what needs to pass and perish to simply go, and knowing that that is how you'll find this freedom from feeling bound and stuck in your mental sphere. Because the world, she sees with open eyes, and she's dancing and floating in the universe. This is the last card of the major arcana, and she has experienced spiritual liberation and spiritual freedom. And she's in touch with the infinite nature of herself and the universe. And it's almost like through this contrast of whatever destruction has happened, that you find the freedom. Okay, so let's see. Why is the Eight of Swords here? This energy of being bound and trapped and mentally stuck. Why is the Eight of Swords here for pile number 3? We have the Hanged Man, which is another card of suspension and the Hanged Man. It's about surrender, seeing things from a new perspective, especially, this woman needs to see something from a new perspective, because it isn't our nature to be bound and dense by this heavy energy. It's really our own limiting thoughts and beliefs. And she's tied up in silk here. She can easily let it go, but it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy where she's bound up by her own beliefs, thoughts, or illusions. And the hangman is here to say, you know, you can take off that rope and hang upside down and see what happens. And, you know, he actually has bound himself by his own free will. And he has his hands behind his back, you know, as if they're tied back there. But he's hanging from the tree. He's just dangling there with his legs. And he has this light of illumination around his head. And it's almost like when you see things from a new perspective and get outside your own limited vision, you'll find this illumination to bring you to this cycle of completion with the world. And maybe right now you don't have all the answers, and you may need to wait a bit or gain some more information, especially with the moon here. But that information will come to surface, and you can use this energy of metamorphosis and transformation within yourself to come to this cycle of completion. Let's see why the Knight of Pentacles is here. Why is the Knight here? The slow-moving energy. It's kind of just, you know, going along, doing what he does. We have the Five of Swords, or the Five of Wands. It's about conflict, drama, not seeing eye to eye. It's about, you know, just feeling like disgruntled and kind of at odds with those around you. So that's the energy you've been moving in, I feel, with feeling stuck in your own head. You have these limiting beliefs that are reflecting conflict around you, and so, you know, the universe is kind of, something might blow up in your face. I'm sorry to say that, but the Tower is here, and something needs to come to pass, and a lesson must be learned in order to see beyond this conflict, because right now that's all you're seeing and you don't see a way out, it looks like. But you can always tune into this Hanged Man energy where you surrender to it, find out what it's teaching you, and it's almost like, I don't want to say killing off an aspect of yourself, but it's kind of like maybe, I feel like some sort of subconscious habit or way of seeing things. Something in your subconscious is going to come to light that is calling you to transform it into a higher octave. So it's like all of our shadow aspects have, you know, a way that we can, you know, we can relate to our shadow aspects, the parts of us that maybe we're not proud of, or that, you know, run us into difficulty or are rooted in, you know, unpreferable traits. We can transform those aspects of us into in a constructive way that will actually benefit us and those around us. So that's, I feel, what this is calling you to do. And let's just find out why the Queen of Pentacles is here. And I almost feel like you're feeling this conflict within yourself about this Knight of Pentacles earth energy who is like giving his pentacles somewhere that causes you conflict. And it could be a third-party situation with this Three of Cups here. It's almost like you don't want to admit it, or you're resisting that this is happening, and it's causing this conflict within and around you. But it's like you're finding that place of surrender with this Eight of Swords energy where you're feeling bound and using some sort of new emotional inspiration to forge forward by asserting your will in a direction that is leading you to this new realization that sets yourself free. And you're letting what needs to die in order to come to this sense of greater peace with the Queen of Pentacles. For the Queen of Pentacles, we have the Seven of Swords and Five of Cups. So these are both energies where you're feeling separated. The last pile actually got both these cards too. So you're going off on your own. It could be a betrayal and a loss. I mean, these both deal with betrayals and losses in the physical realm, I feel, with this Queen of Pentacles. So, but you're coming to this cycle of completion with this. So there's this conflict within you about some sort of loss or betrayal that you've experienced. But instead of feeling trapped by it, I feel like the change you need to make is to surrender to it. Find out what it's teaching you and, through the drive of your emotions, find this greater space within yourself to be more lighthearted instead of resisting things. Instead of resisting or feeling bound, try and be more lighthearted and try and find, it looks like there is some sort of new beginning and new inspiration that's coming. Also, both of these cards with the Seven of Swords, it's kind of like going off on your own and not sharing and sort of like sneaky energy. And then this Five of Cups, which is all about looking at what's wrong, dwelling on the past. And then the Queen of Pentacles is about having everything you need, flourishing, taking care of yourself and those around you, tapping into your own inner abundance. So I think the more that you kind of go off on your own, and it's almost like you don't want anyone else's perspective and you just want to dwell on what went wrong, then you're kind of cutting yourself off from this energy, this stable, really nurturing energy. So let's find out what 3 things your guides don't want you to forget. 3 more messages. 3 more messages for pile number 3 about, navigating this time of quite intense change and transformation. First, we have 9 of Earth, which is all about, doing it on your own and feeling really solid and stable within yourself. It's like you can take care of yourself, and, it's also having fun with yourself and realizing that you can, be your own best friend and you're really all you need. And it's very independent energy. So 2 more messages for pile number 3 about how to best navigate this change. 2 more messages. What does pile number 3 need to remember? And we have again the Hanged Man. Self-sacrifice. self-sacrifice. It's about sacrificing the self, as in the small little me ego self that is actually just not even real. You know, it's about attuning to your higher nature and seeing things outside of the scope from how you normally view things, and knowing that sometimes just changing how you relate to a situation can drastically impact, its impact over you and your emotions and how easy or difficult it is to navigate it. So even just reframing, I know I've been doing a lot of this personally, is like reframing how you feel about certain things. It's like instead of telling yourself things are difficult, you reframe it and start to tell yourself this is easy and this comes naturally to me, and it's just kind of rearranging how you're identifying with your circumstances and knowing that that is a very powerful way to transform your circumstances, because perspective is everything, and how we perceive things is how we will experience them. So it almost seems like surrendering to being on your own at this time, and sort of like just being okay there and finding the comfort in that, even though it may not be too comfortable, but reframing your beliefs about it to make it more comfortable. And lastly, we have the Star, which is the healing card. And the Star actually follows the Tarot in the Major Arcana. The Star is a card after, which is about, after this period of kind of destruction and transition, always what follows that is this time of healing and greater hope and inspiration. And it's also attuning to your subconscious and your dreams, and definitely taking a look at your programming and what narrative you're telling yourself, And this could be an Aquarius as well. She's like the Star, so she's the light bringer, and she kind of bridges the unconscious with the conscious and uses her own shadow to understand and manipulate her reality to be more in touch with your truest essence, because the Star also comes, she's not clothed and she's bearing it all, and she's vulnerable, and she's really finding this place of self-acceptance and love within herself, and knowing that the more she accepts herself and is more vulnerable, that she will be more attuned to the aspects of herself that have been pushed down, that need to come up to the surface with this Tower card to be seen and integrated and understood. And once you understand more of your shadow aspect, your reality will stop showing reflections that trigger you to heal, because oftentimes the contrasts and the triggers in our life are actually just opportunities for us to look at them, heal them within ourselves, so that they can cease to exist and we can move on to this new cycle of completion with the world. So it looks like, find the blessing in the situation, and attune more to your own inner nature, your own multidimensional aspect, and realize that you're so much more than this small little narrative that you may have been abiding by, and that in 2020 it's time to break out of that and see things from a different, broader perspective. And then when I was meditating on your pile, I saw a nice lush green forest, so I feel like it's important to find some solace at this time and to ground down in nature, especially to get out of your own head with that, bound up swords energy. And so let's just pull a few oracle cards. We have the Angels and Ancestors oracle cards. So let's see, last messages for pile number 3 here. What are last messages to help pile number 3 navigate this time of change and transition? 3 messages, please. 3 messages for pile number 3. What does pile number 3 need to know? Please show me clearly, Spirit. What messages does pile number 3 need to know? Alright. And we have be graceful in movement and action. And the last pile got the same card. So, be gentle with yourself at this time. It seems like it's a very powerful time of transformation, and it's kind of like breaking you out of your shell and your comfort zone and really shaking things up into you being okay with being more vulnerable and realizing that it's okay to break out of that bondage that you felt was your world, But I feel like after this initial discomfort that you may experience, you're going to come to this place of higher peace. And I feel like through this situation, you'll find more grace and compassion for yourself especially, and that inner awareness and attention will really reflect out to how you relate to other people, and will actually strengthen your relationships and just, I feel like you're moving toward this completion, toward healthier relationships. And it all starts with how you treat and view yourself, especially how you view yourself. Your own self-image is, the blueprint for how we relate to everybody else. So, and at the bottom of the deck, we have Magic Guardian, unlock the magic within. So yeah, seeing what's there and finding your own spark of magic and how you want to light up your own life and vessel, and definitely tuning within will help you find that broader perspective. So with that, we're done with your spread pile number 3. I do hope this was helpful, and if you liked it, please give this video a like. If you'd like to subscribe, you can do so to see more future tarot videos, and I wish you all the best through this period of change and transformation. It sounds like you're really going through a lot, and just remember, focus on that time to heal, love, and accept yourself, and find the blessings in the contrast. So, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time.